Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're all doing all right. I hope you're all handling this energy, right? This energy has been very, let's say, intense, right? And it has a lot to do with ourselves, how we see ourselves, how others see us, and how we see others, how we navigate those relationships, how we navigate boundaries, what is provoked within us, right? I had this thought that Aries is the only sign that's ruling planet is actually the same person, right? The same archetype, the same God, right? If we look at the Greco-Roman pantheon, which is what all of the names come from, where all of the names come from, we don't have a planet that's named Aquarius. We don't have a planet that's named Libra. We don't. But Aries and Mars are the Greco, right? Aries, Mars is Grecian, Aries is Roman, and they're the same. And it's because it's ourself, right? And how we have boundaries, how we have defense mechanisms, how we lead, right? How we take charge, how we perceive, how we rule ourselves and rule our lives. And part of that is how we deal with conflict. And there's a lot of conflict present recently. And I mean, always, right? But it's like coming to this point, and it's coming to this point because it's time for that. And it does this every year. My friend was asking me, we had this great talk on her channel on Instagram. It's called The Opinionated Oyster. Hi, Vanessa, if you're watching. It was such a great conversation, and we need to do things like this more often. We need to have these open discussions more often. But one of the things she asked me was, is Aries full moon, is that always at this time of year? And it is, because Aries is the opposite sign of Libra. And so it is, the full moon is the direct opposition of the moon and the sun. So wherever the sun is, the moon is in its opposite sign, right? And we're talking about that in relation to the circular clock that is astrology. The clock in your house, I mean, if you remember it, maybe if you're younger, you don't use digital clocks now, but they're always round, right? These 1, 2, 3 through 12, and they're always round. And even when you learn to drive, or you give a time, you're at 2 o'clock, 10 and 2, right? This is this round configuration of hours that we calculate so that we can see it, even though sometimes the sun is up at 6 o'clock in the morning and sometimes it isn't. If it's the middle of winter, it's dark by 5 if you live around here. And if it's the middle of the summer, it could be 9:30 and you could still see the light. The light is still there, right? But no matter what, the clock still says it's this time, and that's basically the same thing that's happening. Is no matter what, there is a opposite that's happening. The sun is in this sign according to the clock, the astrological clock, and the moon is in this sign according to the astrological clock. In reality, everything is in an ellipse, and it's all kind of moving at different times, which is why sometimes it's dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the moon is actually in the sign of Pisces when we're saying that it's in the sign of Aries. It isn't a contradiction in terms as much as it is just a way to consistently keep time. We're not going to move what time it is on the clock because it's the middle of winter. So, the hours get shorter. The hours of the daytime get shorter and the hours of the nighttime get longer. I don't know why this is relevant, but we're talking about this right now, right? Because it's time for that. I think it's time for that. And so the Aries energy is the self. And it's like, what is being reflected back about yourself that is being shown to you in your relationships with others? And vice versa. What is it about others that is being reflected of yourself back at you? How are we mirroring each other in these scenarios, in these relationships, in these situations, right? Because it's the karmic justice of the self, the karmic justice of that reflection of the self. And if you've done right by yourself and you've done right by others, then that reflection will bring back positive things, like the sun, like the light shining right there, right? But if there's karmic debts that need to be paid, now is that point in time that happens every year where we kind of have to deal with those things, right? Scorpio is coming up next. We're getting closer and closer to Scorpionic time, and that's when the debt gets paid. right? And then we learn and we move on from there, and we establish ourselves in the things that are strong, and that happens in the winter time. We'll get there. But right now, this is what this is about, and we're having these situations, these scenarios. They're very self-reflective, and yet are dealing with our boundaries, right? Dealing with how we deal with conflict, the conflicts within ourselves and the conflicts with others. It's also a time of speaking our mind, right? Because that's part of that communication. The sun is in cardinal air. That talks about communication, right? And if you are speaking untruths, or someone is speaking untruths to you, you'll note it in the dark spots in the reflection of that light, right? In those spaces that seem, you'll notice it. And come Scorpio season, things will start to come out in the wash, right? You'll actually have to deal with it on a real level when that full moon is in Taurus. So this is about taking those times of self-examination. What do you need for yourself? What do others need from you? Wow. These are the soul truth cards, self-awareness cards. And check this out. It says, what am I looking for outside of myself that's already within me? Hot damn, universe. Thank you. Yep. It says, are you looking for more guidance, confidence, peace, wisdom, love, or something else? When we search outside of ourselves, we can become overwhelmed, frustrated, and never feel quite good enough. It's time to go inward and find everything you seek. All the answers you need lie within you. Today's soul action. Breathe in your favorite essential oil. Today we have jasmine and lavender, a little bit of each coming through our vaporizer, which is right there. But choose whatever you need, right? Whatever you have that puts you in that meditative space, get you grounded back to your center. Your favorite. The one you like best, the one that rings best for you, that's resonating with you, go for that one. Inhale deeply into your belly. Drop your shoulders and spend some time hanging out with your soul today. Ask for what you need and be ready for the answers. Okay? You're like, oh, I don't like that answer, universe. You got another one? Is that the only one we got? The universe is trying to tell you something. It's about that acceptance of listening and the acceptance of those truths. I'm hearing the acceptance of those truths. Right. Well, I want to get one of these too before we start to dig too much into these. These are the Voice of the Souls. Voice of the Souls cards. And it's an oracle deck, and it tells us kind of like what the messages are about and what we need to be paying attention to. What are you looking for? What are you looking for that's outside of yourself? Spirit. Happiness. That was a pretty clear-cut, quick answer, and it's a fox. And look at the sun and the moon right there. Can you see it? The sun and the moon and the stars, and here's this fox in this stealthiness, but wearing masks. Maybe you don't know where your happiness lies, and you see other people having happiness, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll mimic what they're doing. It seems to be working for them. Maybe you see things that bring other people happiness, and you mean, I got to get me one of those. That's going to make me happy, right? But it's fleeting, right? It's very sly, just like this fox, this idea at 8:44. What is it that brings you happiness? True peace. And then I heard someone else yesterday talking about allowing yourself pleasure. Allowing yourself the benefits of healthy pleasure. Because oftentimes when we think something feels good, we think it's wrong, or we think it's not, must not be healthy, right? Or we only feel like it's good if it's an indulgence. And then we feel the shame afterwards, because it's like we're paying the debt for the happiness with the guilt, shame, or self deprecation for daring to indulge in something that felt good. But what is it that actually feels good? What is it that brings us happiness? Right? Doing something responsible for yourself and checking something off a list that lifts the burden off your shoulders. That's one less thing you have to carry. Putting your favorite essential oil in, smelling your favorite thing. Not worrying about if anybody else likes that smell or if it's just you, enjoy it. You know, okay? You know that that's the thing that you like. That's where some bit of happiness comes through. You know, maybe jasmine's too florally for my sons. They've said it before. They prefer like a earthy scent, like meh. My son wants peppermint. I can't have peppermint all the time. I feel like it's Christmas every day. And I'm like, it's the middle of the fall, or it's like, you know, like I want to smell that nice flowery smell. I want to smell that nice feminine scent of jasmine, and I want it to calm me a little bit. So I'm put a little lavender in there, and that's for me so that I can touch base with spirit while I'm talking to you. Beautiful. Makes me happy. Making someone else feel good, doing something nice for someone, helping them, maybe opening the door, saying thank you to someone when they do a small gesture. That's happiness. That's like, oh, that's a little lift. That's what that's about. And allowing yourself to feel it and giving yourself grace to not have to worry about it. If you have a friend that you really enjoy laughing with and going out with and hanging out and having a good time, your happiness. Are you wearing a false front when you do that? You'll know. It's your true happiness. 1111. What am I looking for outside of myself? Oh. Because, we'll talk about this too, 1122, it says physical pain. Emotions are emotions. Evoked, provoked, a feeling. It's more than just a feeling. It's a bodily function. It's your nervous system responding in some portion of your body, right? 1144, numbers are coming out. And so a lot of the times when we have physical pain in our body, it's some place where cortisol got stored from stressful situations. And if it's prolonged stress, then there's probably like a cavern within you full of cortisol somewhere that's just packing it away. Mine was in my my uterus, right? And I had to have a hysterectomy. But that's just me, personally, because of where I was carrying that cortisol in my body, where I was carrying that stress hormone, where I was carrying that toxicity, you know. And I began to heal myself, and as much as I could heal myself in my mind, and as much as I could heal myself theoretically, right, my emotions somewhere had it been stored in my body that I had to, you know, that was it was challenging my entire physicality. It was causing me detriment. It was making me sick, right? And it's like, even if you're bypassing these types of stressful situations so that you can find happiness rather than deal, then that is going to still manifest itself. This isn't about putting you know, like a blanket over the laundry pile when company's coming over. It's then the laundry's still there, right? This is about folding it, putting it where it belongs, getting it out of the chair, you know, and then folding the blanket and sitting so that there's a comfortable space. Now there's a comfortable atmosphere, right? And you're not carrying that prolonged thing. I don't know why this is coming through. It's like there could be areas within yourself that are keeping you from being able to reach this space because they're being stored somewhere. It says a message to pass on, and then fears is underneath of that. And look how much these two look like each other. It's like, something about stop associating happiness with pain. Fear. And I'm hearing joy and pain, sunshine and rain. But yep, a message to pass on. All right, let's get some fears in your knees, fears in your shoulders, fears in your jaw, fears in your gut. All of those places it has to be released from. Deep breaths, lots of water, relaxing, forgiving, being kind to yourself. Stop looking outside for these things. I'm hearing forgive yourself, and I'm hearing Adam Sandler. You're not mad at me, you're mad at your dad. I'm mad at my dad. Do you remember that from Big Daddy? Four of coins. Look. Four of coins in the reverse, Six of wands in the reverse, and the Emperor in reverse. As I said that. patriarchal energies, whether that actually is your father or that's some like toxic masculine energy, right? We all have positive or positive and negative. We all have masculine and feminine. We are living in, planet duality. We are living polarity, right? Universe polarity. And so there is all of those things. And it's like letting go of past failures. And are those failures at 15 your idea of your failure or someone else's idea? Or did someone tell you this? Are you feeling these feelings because of someone else? Are you looking outside of yourself for the answers, and you're listening to some voice in your head that's toxic, or some idea, maybe a societal portrayal of what success really is or what happiness is? Go back to the beginning. Oh, I need to get me one of those. Oh, I got to do one of those, or I'm going to mimic this thing. And people are doing it all over the place. And they got riches and they got cars and they have all of these things, and they are miserable because they never got down to that root thing that was making them seek outside of themselves. So no matter how much garbage they ate, no matter how many sparkly things they surround themselves with, the happiness it's not equating, because you can't buy it. Letting go of those failures letting go of those ideas of what failure is, of what non-success is. Maybe you weren't celebrated by a masculine figure, a father figure, a patriarchal figure. Maybe it was a boss of some kind. Maybe this is something that's passed down through your bloodline, through your your lineage, your family lineage, right? And so like whether it's present in your daily or it's something that's in the back of your mind, right? You could be gauging what you think your happiness is based on some toxic idea. Let go. Let go of all of that, and let go of wanting praise from that toxic space. Because why do you want something that's toxic to tell you you're doing a good job? You want something that's healthy telling you that you're doing a good job, because that's validating. That's real. That's where we go. Ancestors, what the heck is this about? What is going on today? Losing enthusiasm, having the head and heart on the wrong page. What is this, Spirit? Making choices, King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Open communication. This is like this indignant kid here. This is like enthusiasm gone awry, and this is cool as a cucumber, collected and thoughtful and intelligent, and using the facts that come in, right? Being mindful of this. What are you looking for outside of yourself? A message to pass on. Fear manifesting in the physical body, looking for happiness outside of the self, messages to pass on. Somebody isn't talking, somebody isn't sharing those messages. Letting go of those things. On the bottom of this one, it says, soon. If this is ringing for you, let me know. Knight of Swords. Quick moving action, quick moving communication. There does have to be some sort of talk here. Some sort of talk. Maybe you need to express your fears to let go of that physical pain so that you can get back to that space where you can feel happiness. Five of Swords in reverse. Yeah, letting go of the conflict, letting go of the pain, letting go of the argument, letting go of the mean things people say to each other, right? Letting go of that weird idea. Again, that competitive nature. I'm hearing keeping up with the Joneses. What? Again. Basing your idea of happiness or your idea of success on what? What is true success? What is true happiness? How is that going to happen? Right, releasing a lot of these things, a lot of these fights, a lot of these worries. Mary, I don't want to fight with you. Nobody wants, no. Well, so maybe someone say nobody wants to fight, but maybe somebody does. Maybe somebody does want to have an argument. No argument here. No argument for argument's sake here. No, because you're at a crossroads. Opportunities are rising. You're deciding which direction you're going to go. You're really laying out the pathway here and now. Now that you can see, now that you can release, it's like this is knowing which way. Look at him, he's got that compass there and he's measuring. How far do I have to go? How much do I have to do? This is you making lists, getting organized about these things. It's cut here, 3 of Swords in the reverse on the bottom there. And again, that Emperor energy in the reverse. Making the decision, you could, there could be a judgment call here, like cool and collective and cold. Like, listen, somebody's got a bad temper. You're gonna match it with intellect. You're not gonna let them knock you off your space here, because secrets are coming out, because things are coming to light, because things can't be kept hidden in the darkness anymore. Even if somebody doesn't want to talk about it, right? Like, we don't have to fight and scream and yell about it, but facts is facts, and things are coming through, and you're really starting to see that, wow, it's like, some secrets are coming out, or someone's not using their intuition about the information that they received that was previously hidden, and there's a lot more still that is unknown. And again, go back to that moon energy, the sun and the moon energy, and that's why it's important to stay cool. Don't let your emotions take you over, and at the same time, don't be afraid. There's like this thing about fear and happiness. What are you looking for outside of yourself? Get the facts. Stop fighting with people about it. Ooh, because that's what's distracting. That's what's bringing in more fear. If you're afraid they're going to fight, don't just put up that boundary. Put up that boundary. You're not carrying that within yourself anymore, right? It's time to go inward and find everything you seek. Are you looking for more guidance? We get guidance from the King of Swords. We get guidance from the King of Swords. Consult yourself logically, right? Confidence, peace, wisdom, love, or something else. Is there something else that you're looking for? Maybe you don't even know what that is quite yet. I'm going to get a little bit more clarifiers on this because this is getting a little long. Ancestor spirit guides, could you please tell us clearly, what is this? The wheel. Beautiful. It's about changes are afoot. 2222, right? A fresh new start in the end of delays, sudden or unexpected progress, a very positive change in your life, travel or a new vehicle. Yeah. Just seeing things differently, just handling things differently, just assessing the situation and going within really changes everything. Everything. It's completely different now. Luck starts getting brought in. Happiness arrives. Right? Peace. And through that, you're gaining confidence you didn't even know you had. Right? It's like all of that stuff is starting to slough off. And suddenly you're less fearful and more excited. And then all of a sudden you start noticing, hey, my neck hasn't been hurting in a while. You know what's weird? My stomach has been all right. I think I will go ahead and have some ice cream. Take it how it resonates. But yeah, and your intuition comes back. Loving, kind, loving, passionate, psychic, self-sacrificing, deep psychic insights, caring for others, but forgetting to take care of yourself. Physical pain. If you have something, I'm not a doctor, but if you have something in your body that needs addressing, please seek professional care. And simultaneously, you can do both at the same time. You can address what within yourself might be causing those types of physical pain. I actually saw a cute little drawing with a chart just the other day, and I saved it on my phone, so I will post it for you guys. That kind of shows like what those pains are associated with, right? Like pain in your knees, that's fear, right? Pain in your feet, that's feeling ungrounded. Pain in your shoulders is having too much weight to bear, right? Pain in your chest is not being able to communicate. There's things that our body is telling us, and it wants you to listen, right? To release some of that, and to bring your intuition back where you're trusting yourself again, right? Bring joy and harmony back into real, and then enjoy it without the guilt, without the pain, without the shame, without the like, oh gosh, like how what am I gonna have to reimburse for this now? Am I, like, no. Just good old fashioned feeling good, like eating the ice cream when you were a kid and you're like, yeah, did you feel guilty about it? Absolutely not, did you? No, no, no. When you look at the gorgeous, gorgeous light change during a sunset, do you feel guilty about that? Are you just in awe and enjoying the beauty of it? That's what I'm saying, the little things, the little things. That made me really happy. Seeing my friend smile like that, that made me really happy. You know, like seeing my kid accomplish something, that made me really happy. You know, or even come to a conclusion sometimes and I'm like, ah, there you go. And then I realize that's real joy, right? That, all right. The runes are calling. You know, get a runes. Ancestors, spirits, guides, what message would you like to leave the collective with this reading? What would you like them to know about their own happiness, about letting go of all of this, whatever you feel is most important, spirit? This is about not listening to the signals. This is Anwes. Oops, Anne says it's actually the letter A. 1 second. And we pulled it out in the reverse, guys. Signals, messenger rune, the god Loki. It's probably better if it's in reverse. Love you, Loki. All right. You may well be concerned over what appears to be a failed communication. Lack of clarity or awareness, either in your past history or in a present situation. You may feel inhibited from accepting what is offered. A sense of futility, a waste of motion, or a fruitless journey may dismay you. Remember, however, that this is one of the psycho runes. What's happening is timely for your process. That's what time it is, right? If the well is clogged, this is the moment for clearing out the old. Reversed, Answers is saying, consider the uses of adversity. Consider the uses of adversity. And again, back to that space, right? The Martian Aries self, and then like we keep pulling the Emperor, who is the Aries card, right? In the reverse. Like, where are we misdirecting ourselves? Where are you misdirecting yourself? What are you looking for outside of yourself that's actually on the inside, right? Are you afraid of others because you're actually afraid of yourself in some way? Are you afraid of a situation because you're actually afraid of something within you and how you might handle, respond, deal with, negotiate a situation? I think we just kind of got to it. So we'll just leave it there. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for remembering to hit like and subscribe so I know if this resonated, and it really does help the channel reach a broader audience, and I really, really do appreciate it. And thank you so much for coming back and visiting us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.